what you can with what you have. Do what you can with what you know. Do the best that you can.
I got God on my side, on my side. I got God on my side.
Wanasema siku zote wali wa kushiba huonekana kwenye sahani, wengine wakasema sinia, na kwa kweli wali wa kushiba hapa katika shule ya Bookshine tumeuona.
Katika juhudi za kupunguza pengo la kijinsia kwenye elimu, kuna programu nyingi ambazo zimetengwa kando za kuangalia wanawake. Hizo programu zinasau pia kuwa kuna vijana ambao pia wanapitia changamoto sawasawa na za wasichana.
Tajeni wingi wa sentensi hii. Wingi wa sentensi hii. Chifu amemtuza. Chifu amemtuza mtawa.
Chifu amemtunza mtawa.
Maajabu na miujiza.
Oya, mimi nimesepa, watoto tuendeni kazi, mimi nimesepa. Wanasema siku zote wali wa kushiba huonekana kwenye sahani, wengine wakasema sinia, na kwa kweli wali wa kushiba hapa katika shule ya Bookshine tumeuona.
Katika juhudi za kupunguza pengo la kijinsia kwenye elimu, kuna programu nyingi ambazo zimetengwa kando za kuangalia wanawake. Hizo programu zinasau pia kuwa kuna vijana ambao pia wanapitia changamoto sawasawa na za wasichana.
Tajeni wingi wa sentensi hii. Wingi wa sentensi hii. Chifu amemtuza. Chifu amemtuza mtawa.
Chifu amemtunza mtawa.
Maajabu na miujiza.
Oya, mimi nimesepa, watoto tuendeni kazi, mimi nimesepa.
All right, and a very good evening to you. Many thanks indeed for joining us. This is Easy Friday. On this day, the 9th of January, the year is 2026, we are bringing you an update of the news that's been shaping up today. And of course, the release of the KCSE results for 2025 by the Education Cabinet Secretary, Amigos Ogamba. We have every angle covered, from the results to the performances to the celebrations of that's coming up. We have business and sports reports as well. And being the beginning of the year, later on, I'll be hosting Bishop Welly Odento of Lifepool Chapel. We're looking at all those resolutions that you make at the beginning of the year. Well, it's just 9 days into the new year. Still working on those resolutions. We'll be discussing that a bit later. But first things first, an eye review of Easy Friday tonight. There's the highlights. A subdued boy child. Females outdo their male counterparts in numbers in the 2025 KCSE examinations.
We indicated that there were reported cases under investigation and that action would be taken upon conclusion of the investigations.
KCSE irregularities. Results for 1,180 candidates in 2025 KCSE exam cancelled. KCSE top performers. Close to 2,000 candidates scored a straight A in the examinations compared to almost 1,700 in 2024. My name is John Kago. Good evening. Welcome to Easy Friday. Let's get right into it, looking at the KCSE results released today by the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Ogamba. Now, the KCSE results are officially out. While releasing the results, Education Cabinet Secretary Dr. Julius Ogamba said 993,226 candidates were registered for the national exams. Now, this was an increase of over 30,000 more than last year's 962,512 candidates. Out of this, 217 candidates managed the university direct entry grade of C+ and above, an increase of 246,391 in 2024. Results for 1,180 candidates have been cancelled due to exam malpractices. Wycliffe Okech begins our coverage tonight.
AIC Chebisan's Boys High School in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, hosted the 2025 KCSE results release ceremony.
Bonasias, we don't take it for granted that we are hosting the release of KCSE results 2025. We take it as an honor.
Presiding over the exercise, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba said 993,226 candidates were enrolled for the exams, an increase of 3.19% from the 962,512 candidates in 2024. It is the second year in a row since the inception of KCSE that more female candidates have been registered for the exams compared to their male counterparts.
Of the 993,226 candidates who sat the 2025 KCSE examinations, 492,012 were male, while 501,214 were female, representing 49.54% and 50.46% of the total candidature, respectively.
10 counties had more male candidates than females. 14 counties registered the opposite, while 23 counties recorded a near-perfect gender parity. 26,391 of the candidates were aged 16 years and below, compared to 20,546 candidates in 2024 for the said age bracket. CS Ogamba said the highest percentage of candidates for the 2025 exams were within the appropriate age bracket of between 17 to 19 years.
The highest percentage of candidates registered for 2025 KCSE examinations were within the appropriate age bracket of between 17 and 19 years, constituting 716,048, which is 72.02% of the total candidature.
Female candidates recorded better mean score performance than their male counterparts in English, Kiswahili, Kenya Sign Language, Home Science, CRE, and Arts and Design, whereas male candidates recorded better mean score performance in 11 subjects, including mathematics, biology, and chemistry.
In the year 2025 KCSE examinations, 17 subjects recorded a significant improvement in performance, similar to the number of subjects that recorded significant improvement in 2024. 11 subjects recorded a significant decline in performance in the year 2025 compared to 10 in 2024.
1,932 candidates scored A-plane, with 270,715 candidates managing the direct university entry grade of C+ and above.
The number of candidates attaining a pass grade, which is grade D+ and above, was 634,082, which is 63.67% in the year 2025, compared to 605,774, which is 62.76% in the year 2024.
CS Ogamba said 1,180 candidates will not have their results as they have been cancelled for irregularities.
Individual candidates' examination results will be accessed online through a link on the NEC website or directly through the following link: results.nec.ac.ke, and candidates will be required to enter their index number and one of their names as per the registration data for the 2025 KCSE examination.
Well, the 2025 KCSE results are out, and in the spirit of 100% transition, the Ministry of Education is urging candidates who did not attend direct entry to the universities to further their desired career pathway by joining TVET institutions. Reporting for Channel 1 from KBC Boys High School in Western Gishu County, my name is Wycliffe Okech.
Indeed, congratulations are in order for the KCSE class of 2025. Now, as I mentioned, every angle covered tonight upon release of those results. 1,932 candidates scored straight A's in the 2025 KCSE examination, which is an increase from 1,693 A's in 2024. Over 1,500 of these candidates were drawn from national schools. And now over another 270,000 candidates scored C+ and above, securing a direct entry to university. This also an improvement from the 246,000 candidates back in 2024.
2025 KCSE candidates registered better performance compared to 2024, with the number of those scoring straight A's rising by 239. However, while announcing the results at AIC Chebisas Boys High School in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, Education CS Julius Ogamba revealed that 1,526 of those straight A's were recorded from national schools.
National schools produced the highest number of candidates with an overall mean grade of A, which was 1,526, followed by extra county schools, which had 197, and private schools, which had 185.
270,215 candidates secured direct entry to university after attaining C+ and above.
This is an improvement compared to 246,391, which was 25.53% in the year 2024.
Over 70,000 were day scholars, while about 200,000 were from boarding schools. 507,131 attained a mean grade of C- and above, compared to 476,889 candidates in 2024. The pass grade D+ and above was 634,082 candidates, accounting for 63.67%, compared to 605,774 candidates in 2024.
To enhance access and affordability, fees for academic programs in our public universities have also been rationalized by between 15% and 40%, so that the fees for university education programs range from 5,800 to 75,000 per semester, depending on the program of study.
1,180 candidates were found to be involved in examination irregularities, and their results have been cancelled. Give us Mana, Easy Friday.
Yes, you heard right. Those cancelled results, a total of 1,180 candidates who sat for the KCSE examination have had their results cancelled. This is for engaging in exam irregularities. Now, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba noted that the action was taken following the conclusion of investigations that began in November last year by the Kenya National Examinations Council.
Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba, accompanied by officials from the Ministry of Education, Friday morning released the much-anticipated 2025 KCSE results. While announcing the cancellation of results of 1,180 candidates, Ogamba defended the move by Kenya National Examinations Council, noting that the government maintained a firm stance on examination integrity throughout the 2025 examination cycle, warning that no candidate or institution would be spared where malpractice was detected.
I wish to reiterate that our stand on the integrity of examinations in November last year, we indicated that there were reported cases under investigation and that action would be taken upon conclusion of the investigations. At the conclusion of the KCSE examination, 1,180 candidates were found to have been involved in examination irregularities. Consequently, and in line with the applicable law and regulations, their examination results have been cancelled.
The CS urged parents, candidates and schools to accept the results as released, noting that the examination system remains transparent, digital and open to scrutiny. The 2025 KCSE cohort is the second from last group to sit the examination under the 844 system. Jacqueline Masharia for Easy Friday.
Right now, 501,214 female candidates, accounting for 50.46%, sat for the 2025 Kenya secondary examinations, compared to 492,012 male candidates who accounted for 49.54%. Now, according to the Ministry of Education, this is the second time in a row since the inception of the Kenya secondary certificate examinations that female candidates are more than the male candidates.
Announcing the results at AIC Chebisas High School in Eldoret, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Ogamba, disclosed that 10 counties of Garissa, Mandera, Wajir, Turkana, Narok, Samburu, Mombasa, Homa Bay, Nyamira, and West Pokot have recorded a significant entry of more male candidates than female.
14 counties had a significant entry of more female than male candidates. These were Vihiga, which had 55.905% to 44.10%. Elgeyo Marakwet had 55.06% to 44.94%. Kisumu had 53.87% to 46.15%. Kiambu had 53.23% to 46.77%. Kwale had 53.19% to 46.81%. Nairobi had 52.90% to 47.10%. Kakamega had 52.47% to 47.53%. Meru had 52.22% to 47.78%. Isiolo had 52.21% to 47.79%. Uasin Gishu had 52.14% to 48.26%. Busia had 51.72% to 48.28%, and Tharaka Nithi had 51.57% to 48.43%.
26,391 candidates were 16 years and below, an increase from 20,546 in 2024.
The highest percentage of candidates registered for 2025 KCSE examinations were within the appropriate age bracket of between 17 and 19 years, constituting 716,048, which is 72.02% of the total candidature.
Female candidates performed better in 6 subjects of English, Kiswahili, Home Science, Kenya Sign Language, CRE, and Arts and Design. However, male candidates did better in sciences and technical subjects.
Male candidates recorded better mean score performance than female candidates in 11 subjects, namely mathematics, alternatives A and B, biology, and biology for the blind, chemistry, general science, history and government, geography, IRE, building and construction, and business studies.
Kasichana Masha, Easy Friday.
All right, you are watching Easy Friday on this day, the 9th day of January, looking at the 2025 KCSE results that were released today. Every angle covered tonight. We have a continued coverage of that in not too long. Later on, as I mentioned, we'll be speaking to Bishop Elliot Dendo, Bishop at Lifepool Chapel Churches International. We're looking at all those New Year resolutions that you make and never tend to follow to the letter. Let's look at that, but on the other side of the break. Before I forget, Caroline Njoroge is a sign language interpreter. We're back in a moment.
We want to discuss something that is very, very key to all of us. Hope, purpose, and having a career that definitely fulfills you and that is one of your dreams.
Networking is simply making friends not with a selfish motive. It's making friends where you're also giving.
So how important is self-awareness when you're choosing your career, and for those who are struggling?
If you don't know who you are, what you want out of life, what you enjoy, what are your non-negotiables, then you are going to end up in the wrong spaces.
It is always a good time on Bridge over Congo.
Catch us every Saturday from 10 p.m. till midnight.
Join me, the Rumba Supreme Leader and the Grand Ayatollah Simeon Mfumo Kimbango and
Winnie Marie Jose, Bridge over Congo.
Mungu esilakana nzungu teka sielenge Mungu esilakana.
Chumvi huyeyuka chunguni, lakini ladha yake hubakia.
Right, welcome back to Easy Friday. Celebrations rocked several secondary schools and homesteads across the country as top performers in the recently released KCSE examinations that happened today. This is how different schools and students and parents as well and their friends celebrated the hard-earned sweat.
Sunshine Schools Nairobi was cheery with celebrations after most of the 2025 KCSE candidates secured university placement-worthy results. With the top candidates scoring an A plane and A minus, the candidates credited teamwork, hours of learning and the right company during their time at the school.
Sometimes even past 1 a.m., but in the end it all paid off. In the future, I'd like to pursue aerospace engineering, probably abroad.
I talk about your friends, because these are the people who are going to be with you at 2 a.m. when you're studying. These are the guys with you in class when you're dozing off. So all I can say is my friends are the ones that played a key role in propelling me to where I am today.
We are more thrilled more than ever before. We are inspired really to continue putting in our level best, especially for the candidates that are remaining for next year and the year after, and more so the grade 10.
Similar celebrations were witnessed at Light Academy, where the institution says 99% of its learners have secured university admission-worthy results.
I got A minus, and I really thank God for that, because it took a lot of hard work and dedication from teachers and really reading a lot over the past 4 years, and we thank God for the marks.
I saw my results like 2 hours ago. I was really ecstatic, and A minus, it was really unbelievable, and I thank God, thank my family, and I thank everyone. I hope to pursue business, specifically finance.
We are celebrating our academic excellence, academic achievements. We had a dream, and today we make it come true. So I especially congratulate all my students for their well-motivated performance, for their great, remarkable results.
Congratulations, you guys have done well. Congratulations.
And at this homestead, these two candidates from Maseno and the Moi Girls High School in Eldoret are celebrated by their families after scoring an A and A minus.
At first, I was nervous and a bit scared because, this is my first time having such an experience. So when I put my index number in, I was just like, what am I going to get? Am I going to fail? Am I going to pass? But all in all, I was shocked. I managed to get an A minus, which was like, hey, is this really me? Because I was so shocked, I couldn't even believe it.
I literally prayed a lot. I also wanted to make my mom proud. I know she sacrificed a lot for me to be there and for where I am right now. I just pray that all my efforts would not go in vain. And upon receiving my results, I still can't believe it. I'm very happy. Yes, I'm very happy, and I really thank God above all.
It was celebrations galore at Moi High School in Nakuru after 16-year-old Siwan attained an A-plane grade of 82 points to emerge among the top boys in the 2025 KCSE exams in the county.
You put God first in everything and you will succeed. The second reason I passed is because of my parents. They're very wonderful parents. They have supported me throughout the 4 years, and I'm very glad.
Alliance Girls and Ruiru Girls Kiambu County have also celebrated sterling results.
Out of 100%, 75% is for you, and the rest you leave it to God, because He does acknowledge and He does reward us according to our works. I believe we'll be able to pass.
In 2025, we had a candidature of 499, and we have a B of 9.03.
Bungoma High School broke into celebrations after the school recorded 3 A's and 10 A minuses, an achievement the principal says hasn't been achieved in recent years.
That is a record 13 in the category of A. So we want to celebrate and appreciate the Lord for giving us that good result.
In Samburu County, Mark Kariuki beat the odds to emerge top with an A-plane, while Gladys Lingarpite broke the gender parity tag with an A-.
Education is really important. It can take people far, because they are being held back to looking after the animals, their life, their whole life. They're always doing that, banditry, going and stealing cattle, fighting, community raids. It's not really good.
Being a girl from a pastoral community here in Samburu County,
it is very difficult for so many out there, especially those struggling with FGM and those that are denied the right to go to school. I consider myself one of the luckiest girls to have landed in one of the best schools in Kenya.
In Juja, Shalma Kabi Abshiro could not hide her joy after attaining an A- grade. She's an immediate former student of Precious Blood School, Juja.
To my fellow, no, not my fellows, but other high schoolers, I'd want to tell you to listen to your teachers and read and pray.
In Meru County, St. Mary Girls High School is celebrating 94.945% of its students scoring university-worthy grades, with the headmistress saying the results show a significant improvement compared to last year.
We were able to post 8 plain A's, 71 A minuses, 109 B plus, 115 B's, 89 B minus, 40 C plus, 19 plain C, 2 C minus, 1 D plus, and 1 D.
At Kabianga High School in Kericho County, 663 candidates managed to secure positions for the university out of 707 who sat for their national examinations last year.
The transition rate for the year 2025 stands at 94%.
The learners, having completed their high school education, are now ready to take on higher learning, be it university or TVETs, to make a life for themselves. Yusufar reporting for Easy Friday in Nairobi.
Right now, our top female candidate in the Kenya Certificate of Primary Examination 4 years ago is yet amongst the top performers this year. Ashley Kerubo scored a straight A in the just concluded KCSE results. This even as top schools in last year's Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examinations from Nyanza celebrated their impressive results in style. Achola Simon has that report.
Ashley Kerubo, a top performer in Kenya Certificate of Primary Examination, was yet again amongst top performers as she posted straight A's in the just released KCSE results. Kerubo, a student at Kenya High, scored straight A's in sciences, with the only spec being a B plus posted in geography. At the same time, top students and schools in Nyanza region were in celebratory mood as results from last year's national exams trickled in. Top achievers Maseno School posted an impressive 89 straight A's, 241 A minors, and 152 B plus, as they once again proved to be the big boys of academics in the region.
This one gives us a provisional result of a mean of 9.8335. Let's appreciate God for that.
Olympians! They will transition over 700 students to the university.
On behalf of the BOM, we want to thank God so much for this far He's brought us. I want to appreciate our students who did well. They've made us proud. I want to thank the teachers, the chief principal, and everybody else.
At Kisumu Boys High School, Chief Principal Augustine Muma led students, teachers and parents in celebrating impressive returns in the last year's Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examination results.
This is a great testament, quintessential testament that we have worked as a team, and the result of this teamwork is what we are celebrating today. We are not only celebrating good result, we are celebrating a result that is backed by integrity. Having A's of integrity is never easy.
He credited hard work, integrity and dedication to the improvement witnessed. Neighbors Kisumu girls were also in celebratory mood as the school produced an impressive score, with the top students scoring 84 points out of a possible 84 points.
We are seeing a great improvement from what we had last year, and I want to appreciate the teachers. This team that is surrounding me really worked very hard with the students last year. There was great teamwork, a lot of revision after clearing the syllabus quite early in term 2, And the students were also highly disciplined.
The top student keen to pursue engineering at the university.
I'm happy with the results and I'm hoping to do engineering, if that will be possible.
8 near girls, the script was the same as the CIA-based school posted yet another impressive results in the national exams. Chief Principal promising an even better score this year. Achola Simon, Easy Friday, Kisumu County.
All right, you are watching a comprehensive coverage of those KCSE results that were released today. In the next couple of minutes, I will be speaking to Dr. Emmanuel Manyasa, who holds a PhD in development economics. He is the executive director of Usawa Agenda, an organization that looks into matters of education. Actually, just to give you a recap of what Usawa does, is that they continue with a program called Uwezo program. If you remember, Uwezo program was a program that was looking into the citizen engagement in terms of learning in the country. So speaking to Dr. Emmanuel Manyasa in a couple of minutes, so stick around for that conversation as we look at the results that were released today. Now over to the Coast region, and the jubilation filled the air in most of the top performing schools in Mombasa County after they recorded impressive results in the results that were released today. The school principals and the students attributed those results to discipline, teamwork and commitment. Reporter Ann Boro has more details.
These are the celebratory scenes witnessed in the top performing schools in Mombasa County. Once again, the top performing schools, Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Secondary School, Mamangina Girls High School and Shimolatewa Boys High School, produced each a student with a straight A of 84 points, which was exemplary results according to the school principals.
Tuna A 16 plain. A 16 plain. 4 zikiwa ni za watoto wa kiume na 12 zikiwa ni za watoto wa kike na 2 zikiwa ni za 84. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
This year we have better scores because last year we did not have any airplane, and in the history of this school we've never had an A of 84 points. I think that's the highest one can get, 84 out of 84. So we say Alhamdulillah, Hallelujah.
84. Yeah, the first one. And you of 83 points.
We are thankful to God for the great improvement. Last year we had 5 A's. This year we are having 7 plain A's and 24 A minuses.
The students attributed the impressive results to discipline, teamwork and commitment.
Mrs. Omar used to tell us to use the 3 T's, and that's what I used. That's text, time and teachers, and above all, keeping God first.
Truth be said, always first God, Allah. I'd like to thank him. Without him, nothing is possible. Without, of course, my parents.
I'd be lying if I would say that it was easy, because it was not. There was a lot of sleepless nights, and there were a lot of people along the way who helped me.
All thanks to Allah for giving me an opportunity to study in such a prestigious school, and of course for giving me my amazing mom, who is the epitome of all single mothers out there. I have really taken after her confidence, her resilience.
Most of them looking out to pursue different careers in a bid to add value in the society.
At first I used to say law and medicine, but for now I just go straight to medicine, specializing on gynecologists, because recently there is a lot of cases of women suffering from ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, and my grandma is affected. So I just want to pursue and know what's the secret behind it.
Why medicine? Because I want to find a cure of my mother's illness. Yes, I want to be a cardiologist.
Their parents couldn't also hide their joy.
Namshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu, alhamdulillah, na mtoto wangu Mwenyezi Mungu amhifadhi, amjalie inshallah, hii ndio si mwanzo, afaulu hapa na pengine inshallah.
To me, discipline has paid, and above that, she's also a girl who is in church. She's always in church, a prayerful girl.
In Kilifi County, the same celebratory scenes were witnessed in the top performing schools. At Twahid Boys High School and Beluga Girls High School, which operate under the same administration, school authorities expressed satisfaction with the results. Meanwhile, celebrations were even more pronounced at Istikama Academy, where the school recorded exemplary results in its latest KCSE cohort. One student attained a straight A, while all 51 candidates scored a C+ and above. The school achieved an impressive mean score of 8.8. For Easy Friday from Mombasa County, I am Ann Mburu.
We want to discuss something that is very, very key to all of us. Hope, purpose, and having a career that definitely fulfills you and that is one of your dreams.
Networking is simply making friends not with a selfish motive. It's making friends where you're also giving.
So how important is self-awareness when you're choosing your career, and for those who are struggling?
If you don't know who you are, what you want out of life, what you enjoy, what are your non-negotiables, then you are going to end up in the wrong spaces.
Wanasema siku zote wali wa kushiba huonekana kwenye sahani, wengine wakasema sinia, na kwa kweli wali wa kushiba hapa katika shule ya Bookshine tumeuona.
Katika juhudi za kupunguza pengo la kijinsia kwenye elimu, kuna programu nyingi ambazo zimetengwa kando za kuangalia wanawake. Hizo programu zinasau pia kuwa kuna vijana ambao pia wanapitia changamoto sawasawa na za wasichana.
Tajeni wingi wa sentensi hii. Wingi wa sentensi hii. Chifu amemtuza. Chifu amemtuza mtawa.
Chifu wamemtunza mtawa.
Maajabu na miujiza.
Oya, mimi nimesepa, watoto tuendani kazi, mimi nimesepa.
All right, welcome back to Easy Friday. And as I mentioned a bit earlier, delving deeper into the results that were released today by the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Ogamba. Look at those results. To help us dissect this further is Dr. Emmanuel Manyasa. Well, he's a scholar. He holds a PhD in development economics. Currently, he's the executive director at Usawa Agenda. Well, this is an organization that conducts broad-based research to unearth underlying issues that impact equity in education. Usawa Agenda also continues with the Uwezo program. If you remember, the Uwezo program covers or conducts citizen-led assessment of learning here in Kenya. Welcome to the program, Dr.
Thank you.
All right, the results released today by the Cabinet Secretary. You are very well versed into these matters, and you follow the performance of the different students, whether it's KCP, KCSE, university level. What did you make of the results released today compared to previous years?
The results show an improvement in overall performance. The results also show a very familiar pattern of one kind of schools doing very well, another kind of schools not doing so well. I think that is a familiar pattern. We see that all the time. It is good that we are seeing improving gender parity in the results as well. We have seen in the candidates registered, but we are also seeing improvement in the balance in performance between girls and boys. And I think that is something to be happy about.
All right, looking at the performance of the national schools, doesn't come as a shocker. They always tend to lead in these examinations, and therefore the clamor for positions or for placement in these schools is always more of a fight. Do we expect to see changes in the coming future? Because back in the day when I was in school, everyone wanted to go to national schools.
Everyone will still want to go to national school in the future for as long as the current status quo obtains, which means that the national schools, or now the cluster 1 schools, continue to hog the facilities and hog the best teachers and the best school leaders. It will always mean that they are advantaged in many ways, and so every other parent will want their child to go there because of the increased probability that they will do well in the exam.
All right, the organization that you had, that's Usawa Agenda organization, looks at, or rather research in terms of equity for education in the country. You still paint a rosy picture in terms of the hogging of the facilities and all that kind of stuff. Do we expect, or is there any possibility that this will change in the coming days? Is there any goodwill from SPAC, quote unquote, the government to have changes in this? And how far are we with this?
There has been efforts. We had the SECI program that was trying to improve the quality of secondary schools in the country, but we are still far off from being where we need to be for us to be able to diminish this clamor for a few schools. It needs to be noted that national schools, or now the cluster 1 schools, only educate 3% of the children in the country. And so in terms of how many learners they can be able to take is a small percentage. But they have a lot of resources in their control. They also have the privilege of generally having the well-to-do parents, and therefore parents and alumni groups that are capable of resourcing them further than what the government does for them. And that makes them enjoy massive advantage over the other schools. That makes the competition between the candidates who are in these other schools vis-a-vis those in these privileged schools a very unfair one, because now the results that we see do not just reflect the ability and the effort of the learner, but also reflects the disparity in the learning environments that these learners find themselves in. So our urge to the government and to all other actors in the educational sector, because there are very many other actors, is that let us set out on a mission to create what is a minimum standard of a secondary school, so that secondary schools can actually be attractive. All of them can be attractive to the different learners across the country, because we will never be able to make these cluster 1 schools absorb everyone. Their capacity as of now is for 3%. We can't get that to 100%. So can we focus especially on cluster 4 schools, which educate 65% of the children, and which also tend to educate children from less privileged households?
Right.
Can we equip them sufficiently for them to be a pathway for these children and their families to success?
Absolutely. Thanks for that. I have just about a minute, and I have to ask this one. When senior political leaders publicly clash of education funding and policy, this kind of rhetoric, it filters down to the communities, to the schools as well. What happens when there is politicization? What threats does it pose to the education sector?
There are some statements that are being made by political leaders that are just unfortunate, because what they do is to divert our attention away from discussing the important issues that affect learning and affect learners. For instance, when people start saying, this is a school from our region and it should not be taking children from other places, it is It is a statement that will mask very legitimate concerns that parents who immediately neighbor that school may have. They may want their children to commute there as day scholars. You're not able to pay the high cost of boarding, but you want your child to go there as a day scholar. That's a legitimate issue that should be debated soberly away from the politics and the careless, almost statements that then divert attention from the fundamental points of discussion to what becomes politically charged, almost ethnic vitriol.
All right. Thank you so much for your insightful thoughts. We'll definitely make time to have a discussion with this where we have more time. We thank you for that time, Dr. Emmanuel Manyasa, who is the Executive Director of Usawa Agenda, looking at dissecting the KCSE results that were released today by the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Ogamba. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, that said, let's look at, as I mentioned, we are looking at detailed coverage of those results. We are not yet done. Remember, we have business and sports a bit later, and later we'll be speaking to Bishop Welly Odendo of Liverpool Chapel, looking at all those resolutions that you make at the beginning of the year. You seem to keep following that. You need to look forward to that discussion in not too long. So stick around for that. But back to KCSE, the Ministry of Education has defended the school placement process, saying that that system is open, digital and transparent to ensure that every learner gets an opportunity to join a school of their choice, subject to availability capacity. Now, education officials say the process is designed to promote fairness and accountability while minimizing human interference that could disadvantage learners. To further strengthen oversight and service delivery, the ministry has rolled out a new centralized digital platform, the Kenya Education Management Information System, that's KEMIS, expected to integrate the entire education ecosystem.
Education Principal Secretary Julius Bitok says the placement of over 1 million learners into senior schools has been transparent and fully digital, with students given 2 opportunities to revise their pathways, the final window having closed on the 9th of January 2025. He said the placement process has been powered by a fully digital and transparent system.
The system is very transparent. We are using a very open and digital and transparent process to be able to ensure that every learner in this country gets an opportunity to go to any school of their choice, depending on their capacity of this school.
Meanwhile, the Kenya National Examinations Council, NEC, has urged parents to take an active role in confirming the registration of candidates ahead of this year's national examinations. The council says the candidate registration portal will be open between February and March for learners in grade 6, grade 9 and Form 4, warning parents against waiting until the last minute.
CS, sometimes we get parents calling us a month to the exam saying, I've just discovered my child was not registered. That makes our life very difficult.
NEC Chief Executive Officer David Njagere says NEC plans to roll out an SMS confirmation platform in April, allowing parents to independently verify their children's registration.
We will make an SMS platform available in the month of April so that every parent can confirm if their child has been registered. So by April, when the children come for their holidays, take an interest and ensure that your child has been registered.
Marie Ambo reporting for Easy Friday.
All right, now operations at a building materials company along Nairobi's Eastern Bypass were brought to a standstill after more than 200 casual workers downed their tools, protesting what they term as poor working conditions and delayed payments. The workers are now appealing to the Ministry of Labour and other relevant authorities to intervene and address their concerns.
The workers who staged protest outside the farm say management has continuously ignored their long-standing grievances, which include delayed basic pay unpaid leave days, and intimidation whenever they demand their dues. They claim efforts to engage the management in dialogue has been fertile, with some alleging they were previously suspended or dismissed for speaking out.
Tunataka bosi wetu. Bosi wetu wewe mchaina atumalizia juu ashaajiri watu wageni wapya. Hiyo ndio haki yetu tunataka. Si kitu kingine. Hatutaki vita, hatutaki maneno yote.
They also fault what they describe as exploitative wages, noting that a daily pay of 300 shillings is not enough given to the long working hours and raising cost of. According to the workers, the meager earnings have left many struggling to provide for their families.
Sasa ndio tunajiuliza, je, hii ni Kenya tuko ama sisi tuko China? Anakuja kutishia hapo watu ati hakuna kitu mtafanya, hamwezi lipwa pesa yenu, muende mahali mnataka. Mimi nakaanga na atuoli. Sasa swali letu ni shida tunapitia na atuoli anawatuma ama ni?
Female employees raised additional concerns, accusing some senior officials of using abusive language, promoting ethnic bias, and subjecting women to sexual harassment. The workers further alleged that the company has hired goons to intimidate staff during disputes, a claim that has heightened tension at the site.
Many problems here as women. One, there is sexual harassment, there is gender-based violence. Also, those two, the main ones. One, kuna mtu hapa anaharaswa mama sana. Wakifanya kazi, akitaka mambo ya ngono, that is it. So wanakuitisha, if you don't comply, it's either to fire you or it sends you home for 1 week.
Efforts to get a response from the company's management were unsuccessful by the time of going to air. Case Kimire for Easy Friday.
All right, now 160 bright students from less endowed families who did their KCSE last year across the country have benefited from a full scholarship courtesy of the Kenya Education Fund. Speaking during the scholarship awards ceremony here in the capital, the Kenya Education Fund Country Director Francis Nganga said the scholarships have been awarded based on merit and levels of need.
160 beneficiaries and their parents and guardians from various parts of the country converged in Nairobi to receive the scholarship awards from the Kenya Education Fund. The scholarship comes with a sigh of relief for the guardians and a hope for a brighter future for the students.
Mombasa Law Fund, mamangu alifariki, babangu pia akafariki. Sasa hata nilikuwa sidhani kama nitakuwa niko na future. But I'm so glad, I thank God, nimefaulu na najisikia so vizuri.
Mimi binafsi sikujua kuwa Mary ataenda secondary. Kwa sababu nilikuwa nikipiga picha hapo mbele. Hakuna mwenye, hata tukashirikiana kama familia, hatuwezi afford kumpeleka huyu mtoto. Lakini nilipopigiwa simu ya kuwa huyu mtoto amepata hii scholarship, nilimshukuru Mungu. Nilifurahi sana.
The Kenya Education Fund Country Director Francis Nganga says the selected students met the organization's scholarship cutoff point of 50 marks in the Kenya Junior Secondary Assessment.
How we identify our student is that we distribute our application across the country, and this year we were able to receive around 4,000 application forms, out of which 750 were interviewed, and from that number that's when we came up with the 160.
That when your talent and your vision meets with this opportunity and you greet it with consistency and hard work and determination, you cannot fail. Take this opportunity with both hands, fly with it, overcome the hurdles, and stay focused on your goal, knowing that you will reach the peak of that mountain.
Nganga added that under the scholarship that has cost about 90 million shillings, each of the beneficiaries will receive 3 years of full high school tuition, school uniforms, shoes, textbooks, a year supply of sanitary pads for girls, and 3 life skills workshops in grade 10, 11, and 12.
We did have more students in need than the ones are here today, but these were the most deserving in that given more resources, we'll have taken more.
We still have challenges because we only meet
education, school fees, but as they get along, we still have other needs, for example, laptops as they get to universities and all that. So we are looking for ways and means to cover them because the set taken are very, very needy.
The awards come as the Kenya Education Fund marks the 25th anniversary. Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
All right, now the ruling UDA party is set to hold grassroots elections in 20 counties on Saturday. Close to 400,000 UDA members will battle for various positions in the political contest that will be done in 12,800 polling stations. Our party's National Elections Board Chairperson, Anthony Mwaura, while disbursing voting materials to the counties, assured members that those elections will be free, fair and transparent.
It is all systems go at the United Democratic Alliance Party as 310,000 members from 20 counties prepare to contest for various grassroots positions in the elections scheduled for Saturday.
And these are our last counties because we started with 5 counties, then we went to 22 counties, and now we are doing for the last 20 counties. And each and every polling station is electing 20 representatives.
The voting will start at 8 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. in 12,800 polling stations that will be manned by at least 25,000 police officers.
I can confidently say that tomorrow there will be no chaos because for each and every polling station we have hired 2 policemen. Out of 12,800 polling stations, each and every polling station will be having 2 policemen.
UDA National Elections Board Chairperson Anthony Mwaura assured the 3 million UDA members expected to participate of a transparent exercise, saying the results will be announced shortly after 5 p.m.
And you know, once we finish the election by 5, within 5 minutes the results will be out because of the gadgets we are using, our IT systems. It continues adding itself and there is no margin of leaking or margin of error.
Out of the 20 counties that will participate in the elections, 12 are from Mount Kenya region and have registered the highest number of candidates.
Out of the 388, I can comfortably tell you that more than 280 comes from Mount Kenya. And you are going to see it for yourself tomorrow. I can tell you for sure the biggest county which have produced the biggest number of contestants in Mount Kenya is Meru, with that 8,000 contestants.
At the polling station, UDA members will elect a total of 20 officials, including 3 representatives of religious groups, 4 representatives of traders, 3 representatives of professionals, 4 representatives of youth, a representative of special interest groups, 3 representatives of farmers, as well as 2 party members, a man and a woman. Gishoke Washira, Easy Friday.
All right, welcome to Easy Friday Business. Now, at least 9,847 successful young entrepreneurs are drawn from the counties of Nakuru, Baringo, Narok, Bomet and Kericho have received 25,000 shillings in startup funding under the second phase of the National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement project. That's the Nyota project. President William Ruto says the disbursement of the cash aims at expanding access to capital and accelerating youth-led enterprise growth.
President William Ruto on Friday was at the ASK grounds in Nakuru to oversee training and disbursement of the Nyota project business startup capital disbursement for beneficiaries drawn from the counties of Nakuru, Baringo, Narok, Bomet and Kericho. The cash is expected to support thousands of beneficiaries kickstart or expand their businesses. Of the amount, 22,000 shillings is being deposited directly into Pochi la Biashara to support immediate business operations, while 3,000 Kenya shillings is being channeled into the beneficiaries' Haba na Haba savings account under the National Social Security Fund to promote savings and long-term financial security.
Tunafanya hivyo kwa sababu tunataka nyinyi kama vijana wa Kenya mupate nafasi ya kufanya biashara.
President Ruto says under the broader Nyota framework, Youth will access short-term certification courses, while thousands more will benefit from structured on-the-job training through attachments to master craftsmen and women, supported by monthly stipends and government-funded certification.
This is the design of this program, to make sure that every Kenyan, irrespective of their station in life, can qualify for support of the government of Kenya.
Kama Wizara ya Vijana, tutaendelea kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wa Kenya wanaweza kupata zile fursa ya kufanya mambo yao kupitia miradi hii ya serikali.
The current disbursements are being carried out through a cluster-based schedule across 7 regional centers as the government scales up youth empowerment, enterprise formation, and skills development nationwide.
Zaidi ya vijana 9,000 kutoka Bomet, kutoka Narok, kutoka Nakuru, kutoka Baringo, Your Excellency, wako hapa na watatoka hapa na mtaji ya kuanzia biashara ili kubadilisha maisha yao.
Ndotamo Kami for Easy Friday.
All right, now plans are underway to expand vehicle leasing from security agencies to parastatals and other government agencies. National Treasury Principal Administrative Secretary Samson Wangusi, however, believes adoption of vehicle leasing could be deepened if local capacity is enhanced to service other critical government institutions.
The government leased 295 units of cars, trucks and buses in the latest round of its motor vehicle leasing program for the financial year ended June 2025. The National Treasury allocated 5.9 billion shillings for leasing vehicles to be used by security agencies, and now plans are underway to expand the vehicle leasing program.
We want to expand this. If money allows, we should have the entire government on leasing program, so that all our vehicles are maintained and taken care of by the dealers under this program. It is much easier for us, where government doesn't have to budget for workshops, for what, everything.
Under the leasing program, government agencies are only permitted to lease locally assembled vehicles.
We are not where we should be, and there is a program that we are working with the government called KS 1515. Improving on that standard so that what we already have capacity to produce locally can now be produced locally. And that standard is proposing to government that we can produce locally because we have the capacity and capability to produce locally.
These sentiments were made during the flag-off of 95 vehicles leased to the National Police Service at a cost of 600 million shillings.
Being part of the 591 fleet that has to be delivered to the Kenyan National Police Service, it will impact a lot to us because it will enhance service delivery to the public.
You see, if a vehicle costs, say, 1 million shillings, there is, from the leasing aspect, there's what we call a residual value that we place into the transaction. Let's say it's 30%. So it means only 70% of the vehicle is amortized to government.
The National Treasury sees the vehicle leasing program, now in its 7th edition, as key for modernizing fleets of vehicles used by government agencies, reducing maintenance downtime and ensuring consistent vehicle availability. Alanauko, Easy Friday.
All right, now smallholder farmers in Embu County have been training on best farming practices, increasing household incomes and enhancing food security. Embu County Chief Officer in charge of agriculture, such as access to land, finance, and technology.
The one-day training organized by the Women Farmers Association of Kenya in partnership with the county government of Embu and the Rainforest Alliance focused on sustainable farming methods such as agroecology, climate resilience techniques, water conservation, crop diversification, value addition, and financial literacy.
In Kenya, 80% ya ile kazi inafanywa kwa mashamba inafanywa na wanawake. So unaona wanawake wakiwa wamefunzwa mambo ya agriculture ni very important. kwa sababu ndio wengi na ndio wanafanya ile agriculture nzuri.
The program targets to transform farming from subsistence activities to sustainable and profitable commercial operations.
Tunataka kuangalia value chain ile ambayo tunaweza unganisha all the women farmers in Embu. Wafanye ile kitu moja au mbili inaweza fanywa kama chapter yote.
Speakers pledged to link farmers with financial institutions to support enterprise expansion, as well as buyers for their farm produce.
We are also here to support them with linkage to financial players who will give them access to sustainable financing so that they can either start up or scale up the enterprises that they are planning to embark on.
Imekamilika. 2026 tunaingia na matarajio mema ya kumiliki shamba, nyumba, magari na zawadi zingine nyingi kupitia usaidizi na kucheza kwako. Familia yote ya Tushinde tunawatakia kila laheri na mwaka huu uwe mwaka wako wa baraka, bahati, afya njema na mafanikio. Happy New Year.
And gentlemen, help me welcome Soine.
Our meeting point was church. So she walks out and I'm walking in. And we walk together. That's the very first time when it's just the two of us walking together.
Car movies.
Yes, car movie.
Hey, this guy. But okay, he looks good, so.
Something in me just triggers. I feel a very heavy conviction in me that, you know what, it's time.
At this particular point, I feel like my heart had already softened. By the time he was asking for my number, actually, I was also hoping that he would use the number himself, not just the sister.
Now, Mimi, I'm liking you. And I do not want to waste your time. This girl, to date, solidly stands by me. Solidly.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Easy Friday Sport. Now, former junior tennis Wimbledon doubles champion Angela Okutoi stayed on course for another title at the ongoing ITF W35 tour when she beat Bulgaria's top seed Isabella Shinikova by 2-1 in the quarterfinals of the women's singles at the Parkland Sports Club to storm into the semis. Frederick Moki has the details.
Outstanding Angela Okutoi continued a show of brilliance in the ongoing ITF W35 tour after producing a commanding victory and progress to the semi-finals. A thrilling encounter was witnessed at Parkland Sports Club as the 21-year-old Angela Okutoi clashed with Bulgaria's Isabella Shinikova in the ITF W35 quarterfinals. Shinikova produced a commanding performance to take the lead in the first set, which she won 7-5. However, 21-year-old Angela Okutoi stepped up her game and composure to take the lead in the second set, which she won 6-4. Okutoi intensified her game to emerge victorious in the third set, which she won 6-2.
So I would say she did play her best, I would say, compared to the matches I've been watching. This one probably she brought her A game, but I'm glad that I stayed on task even after losing the second set.
She will now face Egyptian Sandra Samir in the semi-finals tomorrow after Samir claimed a 7-6, 6-3 win over Yufei Reign of China in the other quarter-final clash.
Well, yeah, my goal was to get gold. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that I can win this tournament again, like last week. And, yeah, I'm just taking each match one at a time and not thinking too much of the end goal, but the present.
Yeah, I mean, we've never played before. She's a really good player. She won the first week. And I love playing with the crowd watching. It will be a lot of fun.
Hungarian Luka Orvari defeated Serbian Natalija Sinic in strides in the other quarterfinal clash. Frederick Moki for Easy Friday.
Defending champions Kenya Police FC were held to a goalless draw by KCB in an FKF Premier League encounter played at the Kasarani Stadium, while Sofapaka were also forced to share spoils with Bidco United following a 1-1 draw at the Kasarani Annex. Sofapaka went ahead in the 80th minute through Clifton Miheso before Bidco levelled the scores 5 minutes later through Herman Ngala. Kenya Police remained 6th on the standings with 23 points, while KCB are 7th on 22 points. Sofapaka are 16th with 14 points, a point adrift of Bidco, who are 15th.
Bila kufunga. Shege. Nafasi nzuri! Nafasi mpaka ndani ya kamba!
And it will be a dash for a podium sweep when the highly anticipated senior men's race starts off tomorrow at the 46th World Cross Country Championships in Tallahassee, Florida, with Team Kenya taking nothing to chance in a quest to claim all the available medals on offer.
Right to the front there.
Oliver Hall, who's
the man expected to do the honors will be none other than team captain Daniel Ebenyo Simiyu, who is also the world half marathon silver medalist and former world 10,000 meter silver medalist, with his compatriots Shedrack Koech, Kevin Chesang and Dennis Kemboi. He was in the 2023 senior men's team that retained the title with a 6th placing in the individual race and hopes to thwart Uganda's Jacob Kiplimo's bid for a 3rd successive title. The Ethiopian challenge will be led by Beriu Airegawi, who placed 2nd in 2024, followed by Kenya's Benson Kiplagat, as Kenya won the team title yet again. Kenya will also be going for a 3rd consecutive title in the under-20 men's race, whose previous title was claimed by Samuel Kibathi, as Matthew Kipkoech won the bronze. Those who are expected to ensure that include Andrew Alamisi, the under-20 world 5,000 meter champion, Emmanuel Kiprono, Franklin Kibet, Andrew Kipto, Edwin Elkana, and Kelvin Kiriankei.
So 5:45 p.m. the mixed relay starts. 8:20 p.m. is the start of that senior men's race tomorrow evening. Now, rugby action returns this weekend after the December festive holidays break, with Kenya Cup and Kenya Rugby Union Championship lining up mouth-watering clashes. Kenya Harlequin are set to host nondescripts in their Kenya Cup encounter at the RFEA grounds. Queens are 6th on the table on 9 points, while Nondis are 7th on 8, with the match week 4 doubleheader set to be completed by a bottom-of-the-table clash between Impala and Desta Falcons. In other Kenya Cup fixtures, Nakuru RFC host KCB, Menengai Oilers take on Strathmore, while Kisumu RFC host Kabras Sugar at the ASK Mamboleo Showgrounds. Meanwhile, in the KRU Championship, Homeboys take on Zetech Oaks, USIU Marshall square off with Mwamba RFC, while NYS Spades travel to Juja to face the JKUR Cougars.
Attack there from Cabras, very strong run. Charo goes all the way, scores. Cabras and Nondis will help them. And Dukisa here spreading and stretching out the defense. Nondis and just cuts back in, goes all the way and try again. And straightening and going, offloading in that tackle. Bounces off one tackle, bounces off another one. Jackton also. But Cabras make good of their numbers here, and they are gone.
So if you've got nothing to do, I can tell you where you can go and do it. It's at the Parkland Sports Club. Angela Okutoi against Sandra Samir, 11 a.m., the semi-finals of the ITF W35 Nairobi. So we'll be keeping tabs on that. That's a story that we've covered for the last 2 weeks. And also the World Cross Country Championships. We'll have a full brief tomorrow on our Legends Edition Sport. My name is Daniel Wahome. Over to John Kago, who's going to be speaking with Bishop Welly Odendo. Something you do every year, and at the end of every year, you say you haven't done it. New Year resolutions. John Kago, over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Daniel Wahome, for that, even setting the pace for our conversation next. we tend to make all these New Year resolutions. Some would share with their family members, colleagues. Others decide to keep that private. But more often than not, I don't know what happens along the way. We tend to throw away these resolutions that we set. Is it because of lack of setting attainable resolutions, or is it lack of discipline? To help me discuss this in studio today is Bishop Welly Odendo. He's the bishop at Liverpool Chapel Churches International. He's an author, he's a founder, he's a leader. Welcome to the program. Good to see you, my good friend. It's been a minute.
It's good to see you. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and we're just coming from the festivities. A lot happens, especially in the month of December, the Christmas, Boxing, New Year's. Now, when you get to the month of January, what really happens is that it's a complete opposite of what was happening. There's school, opening of school, and this comes with a whole lot of buying of books, uniform, then going back to work. And there's an emotional roller coaster that comes in January. Have you experienced that, for starters?
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not one.
You know?
I'm not one. So that has been happening for the last 40 plus years for me. Maybe 20 when I'm the one in charge and the one responsible of many other things. Yeah, so it's I think it's a predictable pattern that I think any person who's been of age should be able to now know this is coming, this is what happens, and you can actually, you see, whatever you anticipate, you can control, yeah? Whatever you anticipate, you can control. So your anticipation should give you some level of control over what to do and how to spend your December. Yeah, so...
And that's why a whole lot of people make mistakes. They say it's time to make merry, but now when it comes to January, it all happens that they get into this emotional roller coaster. Let's delve onto the subject for today, which is making a New Year resolutions.
Yes.
What exactly are they? Why do we make them?
I think resolutions are maybe like checkpoints in our lives that maybe give us a sense of progress and to measure the value of the year so that we can see how much we can do within a year. Some of them come from a place of pain, others come from a place of trying to attain a level of progress or prosperity. So unfortunately, sometimes these resolutions, they are shaped by our trauma. They're not shaped by, there's something we are trying to escape from. And in an endeavor to escape, we come up with sometimes goals that we feel like when I attain this goal, I'll have gotten away from this particular pot or crisis that I'm in. And so when it comes to resolutions, I would say, you can't make it at the end of a year because a resolution is something you make every day. It must be a continuous conversation that you're making, and it doesn't have to be in January.
I was actually going to come to that. You just mentioned the end of the year, and this is what most people tend to do, making these resolutions at the end of the year without putting some thought process into that.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be at the end of the year, because a change of the calendar does not mean a change of season for a person. It can still be that you still have to maintain the kind of momentum you are with. For some of us at the end of the year is when we say, now I can throw caution to the wind and But it can just mean that that December, some people have to work through that what we call festivities. We must know that somebody somewhere sat down and thought that this would be the best time to give people a break. But probably at that particular time is when you need to be pressing on the gas. And also you need to, don't underestimate the place of trauma. Don't underestimate the place of institutionalized pain that we go through throughout the year. The number of things that haven't worked, the losses, the griefs, the people that we've buried, the events that didn't come through, the friends that betrayed us, the money that we lost, the ideas that didn't come to pass, the auction. So many things happen within 1 year that sometimes we come with a resolution to like give us a sense of, okay, let me now start accepting that this is the reality. That also helps if that gives you the sense of accepting that, okay, this is the reality. I've been betrayed, I've lost, I've done this, I'm getting a chance to get a new start. But that by itself is not enough to make you be able now to attain the resolution, because grief is a process, and that's why I like to tell sometimes people that even I've seen today the kids who have done the exams, you know, the category has been, we have only gone to those who have done well, and so there's a group that feels like they have not done well. But I'd like to let them know that an exam is not a measure of a future. It's an opportunity, but it's not a measure.
I actually saw that on social media today. A friend I follow on social media, Chris Kiroy, was saying some of us were not even in the limelight, but still along the way, someone was able to do something good.
You figure yourself out, and when we put a lot of pressure, so some people begin to grieve, and then that prolonged grief, because already you've been categorized a failure, a loser. Some of us have gone through divorce, others have gone through separation, others have got to break a business partnership, others they just discovered they were scammed and it's not small money and you still have the consequence of paying. So we cannot rush grieving. And that's why if you want your resolution to work, that resolution must come from a place of a healed soul, not a wounded soul. Because decisions sometimes can help, can stop the bleeding, but does not heal the wound. It can start the process of healing. So I think sometimes we need to be a bit gentle on ourselves. Some of the resolutions we make, we are too hard on ourselves, because I'm trying to compete with Kago's new look, Kago's new whip, Kago's new house, and I'm saying I did better than you in school. We come from the same village. You're doing better this year. But I need to process my own, flush my own system.
Yeah, which brings me to the realism of these resolutions that people make. What is the measure? How does one know, well, this realistically, this is achievable, this is not achievable?
And I think most of us, the first and greatest resolution in life is to live. Before you achieve anything, is first of all to live what I would say a genuinely happy life. Genuinely. No pretense, no faking it. That's the first resolution, that this year, and for you to live, you have to get to a place where you have to stop being too kind. You have to call yourself to a meeting and say, everything I want to do and achieve and do this and do this and do this will mean that I'm spending myself. And if I'm going to spend myself, I have to have enough of self to spend. But if I overspend myself, and that's the thing I would say about a resolution, is that you cannot achieve it from a deficit. You have to achieve it from a surplus of self. But when you're too kind, you have to be there for this and there for this. And that's why sometimes we suffer fatigue too early, because days have already been set. It's New Year, school fees, January. February, it's Valentine's. March, it's Easter. May is this. So you are literally just on the spending side. But the real resolution is to be this year, I want, first of all, to be whole. I want to be happy genuinely. If you look at the suicide rates and the mental health issues of people who you think when they achieve their resolution, they'll be happier, they climb the hill, they come down.
To, like crashing down by, as you mentioned.
You've overspent yourself. But if you have to be genuinely happy, you have to be genuinely happy, you have to be genuinely and meaningfully in meaningful relationships. And so when we look at happiness in its holistic sense, you will discover it cannot just be broken down to goals and attainment. It has got some place of bonds. It has got some place of rest. It has got some place. When I was younger, I would say you're a procrastinator, but life has dealt me some blows to see that, man, this life, we have mechanized life, that you're a machine, that you are made to produce milk, so you are constantly running. But there's no need to just produce and not experience. So you have to balance the two. I have to experience as I'm producing. I just want to be mechanized, that this year I said I'll buy a car, I bought a car, I'll build a house, I built a house, and then you get to the end of it and jump off a cliff. So be happy with yourself.
Absolutely. Genuinely. Taking care of oneself and being kind to oneself is one of the points that I've gotten from that. How do we keep tabs on this? Some document, write them down. Others, like some of my friends, they do what they call a vision board and place it somewhere on the wall to just keep reminding them. Is there a particular way of keeping tabs on this?
Well, the first thing is, you know, we cannot measure. You can be doing those things and you're not genuinely happy. And I'll say that. I'll say, okay, you don't want to have the stress of actually setting a resolution. That you're setting a resolution to reduce stress, and then now you have stress of setting that resolution. Now, if vision boards work for you, you do what works for you. Do what is more natural for you, so that you will not feel like it is work. Once it starts feeling like it's work, it will also mean that I'll be leaving work to come home to work, whereby I'm taking my resolution, it feels like work. Do what's natural for you. If writing them down for you works, write it down. If having an accountability group works for you, you say, this year, hold me accountable. I've stopped alcohol, hold me accountable to this. You do that. If going to counseling and getting a coach and getting a mentor who will help you set that vision board, do what works for you. But don't do it from the point of stress and frustration to make you feel like you are not actually engaged. Do what works for you, and sometimes what works for you is what you will do seriously but happily.
All right. Family is a unit, and every one of us belongs to one, irrespective of what kind of family setting that is. So how important is family, whether it's a wife, a husband, a parent, when making these resolutions? Because at the end of the day, there's some actions within doing what you need to do to achieve these resolutions. Family will come in. How important is it to involve them in these resolutions that one is making, or lack of involving them?
You know, life has so much evolved that word family is very different. I may be more family to you than your biological brother. Your boss may be more family, or your work colleagues may be more family than your biological brother. So family has involved. Let me say that you need a social enterprise or a social setting that can hold you accountable but still can keep you relatable. We don't want accountability like it's policing, but it's not relatable. That every time I see you, I feel like a disciplined master's come, hey, Kago, how are we doing on that? I want it to be, it's so relatable that it feels like I have suffered so many losses in the last 5 years. So maybe I'm speaking from as a person who have experienced the whole graph, I used to be very close. I know you lost your parents, so maybe you are close with your parents. She was the one who was holding you as family. Then she passes on. So how do you do? So we keep the principle. The person is not there, but we keep the principle. So a family is something that holds you accountable but remains relatable and not judgmental through the process. And is patient enough to understand that you being alive is more success than anything else.
Absolutely. So as we wind up, my time is running out, but just 30 seconds. What are the effects really of overlooking that what you call family? As you mentioned, it doesn't have to be biological. What are the effects of overlooking that as family?
Burnouts and breakdowns. You'll burn out and break down. Man has not been made and wired to do life alone. Life was made to be lived integratedly. And so in the absence of genuine family, man burns out or breaks down. And unfortunately, that is now what leads to more catastrophic, drastic decisions, because some of the decisions that people make, they make dependent on where they were at that place emotionally and socially. The people closest to them told them, we fanya, fanya. So one or another, you will find a family, whether it's only that you get to choose one or fall into the hands of one. So the effects of neglecting that element called family is you'll suffer burnout and or a breakdown.
Absolutely. All right. Many thanks indeed. Speaking to Bishop Welly Odendo of Liverpool Chapel International. As a parting shot, what keeps you motivated? You mentioned you've suffered many losses in the last 5 years, and a whole lot happening even with the churches, and you have to deal with so many people. What keeps you on the grind, motivated? Probably something you could share with our viewers.
I think love and the pursuit of full expression of myself. And I'll say that. So that deep, genuine love for God, that deep, genuine love for people, and that deep, genuine love for what I love. I'm not an age whereby I don't need to pretend I enjoy something and I don't. If I don't enjoy a company, I don't show up. I don't need to be, I'm past the age of I have to make impressions. So if I feel then the space will not leave me feeling more expressive and enhanced. I can't go into a place I feel suppressed.
All right.
So it doesn't work for me. So that's me.
In this nation, we usually have something they call the National Prayer Day in 20 seconds. I know we don't have that much time. I feel I feel in my spirit I should tell you to look into that camera and just say a quick prayer,
for Kenya. Father, we pray for everyone who is watching us in this new year, especially the young children who have just received their results. Lord, we are praying that you'll grant them wisdom, you'll grant them peace. And Lord, we speak over them a blessing, the blessing of God the Father, that God brings riches and adds no sorrow. We speak over 2025, that may it be your year of wow and splendor. For I bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
And amen to that. It's on that note that we wrap up Easy Friday, the first part. Now, the second part is whereby we loosen up a little. On the other side is DJ Coljack's Disco Funk. He's coming up on behalf of the team that has worked effortlessly, even during the day, to bring you this news for the night. My name is John Kago. Assigned language interpreter for the night has been Caroline Njoroge. Till next Friday, good night. So long.
Imekamilika. 2026 tunaingia na matarajio mema ya kumiliki shamba, nyumba, magari na zawadi zingine nyingi kupitia usaidizi na kucheza kwako. Familia yote ya Tushinde tunawatakia kila laheri, na mwaka huu uwe mwaka wako bahati, afya njema na mafanikio. Happy New Year.
We want to discuss something that is very, very key to all of us: hope, purpose,